Welcome back, and thanks for joining Ty the Gun Guy. Definitely one lucky guy. My family chipped in, got me my first Microtech Ultratech ever. All right, there it is, the Microtech, my very first Microtech. And of course, this is a Microtech Ultratech TE, and I think that's for tapered edges, orange, and it's partially serrated. Let's take a look at this bad boy. I did take the instructions and everything out already, but you get in a simple box. It gives you a manual, it gives you a warranty card, all that fun stuff. But that's how they come, just like that. So there you go. On the back, on the pocket clip, is Microtech logo, born on date, and the serial number. You've got your glass breaker right there, which we'll talk about in a minute. And again, I don't want any haters hating on me. I absolutely love this thing. It's phenomenal. I'm excited. I was fortunate to have my family pitch in and get this for me for Christmas. Just under 400 bucks, so they're not cheap. Go over a couple things that I had questions on in the beginning. I did some research. There was play in the switch right here, and the firing button, left and right. If you push on it, listen, it goes up and down. It wobbles. It's loose, almost like you can see it there, almost like it's going to fall off. According to the Microtech website, it said the engineers make it this way. Maybe it's for the ease of the slide and deployment, so it doesn't bind on top, which it doesn't, and it works great. But that's one thing I noticed there. Leave comments below, Microtech fans, and let me know if yours do the same thing. It's loose, it's got play in the switch. So the second thing I noticed right away was that the clip was getting loose. So the glass breaker here, only after about 50 to 75 times of firing, playing around with it, got loose. And upon getting loose, you could see there, it actually discolored or, made marks into the orange aluminum there. It's a tool, I get it. Only had it 2 days and that came loose. Yes, I read to put some Loctite. You got to tighten it up without scratching it. But for being like the #1 knife and so expensive, you would think that you wouldn't have to do that after 75 times of opening and closing the blade. So that was a little disappointing, got to be honest. Those are the negatives, or not negatives, but those are the things I found. The other thing I did notice on mine is that, and I don't think it's supposed to be there, but you can see the aluminum through the logo right there. So I'm not sure if it's scratched or worn through on the logo, but it's not all white. You can actually see down to the aluminum on the claw. So I don't know if that's part of the logo it's supposed to be or it just came in that way. So aside from those things, I absolutely love it. I'm stoked, I'm happy, and I'm super appreciative of the fan. The overall length opened is 8.4 inches. The blade length is a 3.4, and that is a Tonto blade, which is the cut down here in the front. This is a black blade. You can see it's black, and they got a little bit of the steel polished right there underneath. It is partial serration, which is super sharp. They are made in the USA, which is pretty awesome. The model number is a 123-OR for orange. The handle is orange. It is 6061 T6 anodized aluminum. Got the nice glass breaker on the back right there, so it's small, doesn't really bother you in the pocket. So it is 3.6 ounces in weight. Man, in the hand, you can barely feel that you have a knife. It's small, it fits great in the hand, I think. Such a cool looking blade, love the colors. The action is tight as can be. I read a lot about the Microtechs. It said that the deployment button is going to be very stiff, very tough. You're going to have to build up your thumb muscles, which you are. It does hurt your hand, so if you have I hate to say it, but if you have weak, gentle fingers, thumbs, you're going to have a heck of a time with this blade. It's not for the faint of heart. I can tell you that right out of the gate. They're all going to be super tough, super hard. I oiled it, even with, several, by now 100 times. You're going to have to get used to that part of it. But I think for safety purposes, of course, right, they're not going to let this thing open in your pocket, right? You're going to have to push. You get to a wall right here, and then it fires. Pretty much same with coming down. So here you're going to have all that play 3/4 of the way, and then you come to a strong wall, it fires. Coming back down, same thing, almost 3/4 the other way. Comes down to a wall, boom, fires. Up, wall, fires. One thing I did not mention, there's very little movement in that blade. It doesn't rattle, it doesn't shake when you move it. Can't even, it doesn't really move. That is the That's stiff. That's a very stiff blade, so you're not getting a lot of play or movement whatsoever in that. As far as the sharpness of the blade, the partially serrated is really sharp, right? You know that's going to be. But as far as the mid-size of the blade, it's sharp, and of course the tonneau edge of the blade is not as sharp. For me, my liking, I like a really sharp knife, and I'll probably sharpen this right out of the box. I know it's probably not the best. You're going to wear the blade, blah, 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 warranty. But I think I'm going to give it a nice edge and sharpen it up. But A+ for me, I love it. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a nice everyday carry. And just make sure it's legal in your states. It is where I live, thanks to my nice governor. And things are good. Stay safe, stay vigilant. And until next time, Todd the Gun Guy!